Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Donnie checking back in for our midweek update here in week 7 of our 10-week series, Spiritually Sufficient, Locally Sustainable. And this week, the title of our theme is Flora and Fauna. So just fancy words for plants and animals, and more specifically, plants and animals in your area at a specific time. So if you're out on 3F Farm, just give me a little bit of background of what kind of animals and plants we have, but then why we have them. And why this particular time. So when we first moved out here, I think the biggest reason when we got some plants and animals, really for the plant side, just to beautify the area, so some landscaping. And then for the animals, a big reason, not only why we live in Texas, but we moved out here, you get certain tax exemptions and tax breaks for having agricultural land. And certainly for us being veterans, we get additional exemptions for that. So we started out with some animals, just some goats out here. And like I said earlier, this week is grown. Now we have chickens, rabbits, guineas. You can see the donkeys behind us, pigs, and we still have goats. So outside of just the tax breaks that we get for having animals on the farm, obviously having some acreage out here, I don't want to cut the grass all weekend. So we really got the donkeys and the goats to have some pasture control. So it not only supplements their food, but also makes it so I don't have to mow the grass quite as often. Or really, our farm director, Michelle, she's the one that loves cutting the grass out here. And then as well, you know, obviously for the rabbits and the chickens, we really enjoy eating them. So not only the eggs that we get from the chickens, we can eat those and we can make income selling them. But also butchering and processing our own rabbits and chickens, not only for our use for eating, we can also stock the freezer up, and then we can sell them to our neighbors, being locally sustainable and having a partnership. We also sell kids, baby goats, if we don't need them. If we have an abundance around after they're born, we'll sell some of those off as well. So really the animals started out just for tax purposes, but it's actually grown in to part of our strategic planning and our sustainable strategy is to have them as food sources, but also as revenue sources, revenue streams. And kind of the same thing goes for plants. Like I said, we tried to garden out the first year. The tomatoes did really well, the peppers did really well. Everything else stunk. So now we're in our 4th year out here having a summer garden. The okra does great. Tomatoes, cucumbers do great as well. The peppers do fantastic. Luckily we got some squash, some zucchini this year. They're hit or miss. And then we have a lot of flowers, whether they be marigolds, petunias, nasturtiums. You can eat some of those plants, so for nourishment, but they're also pest control. So really when you're talking about plants and animals, you need to decide on your sustainable strategy, come up with a plan of what you want and the time frame you're looking at, and then you can strategically add plants and animals into that plan to get you to where you want to go. And if you aren't too keen on butchering animals, processing animals, and then having to raise all of them, you know, if nothing else, a dog, cat, a domesticated animal for a pet, it brings comfort. It certainly helps with your mental health, your psyche. And then also it'll give you the opportunity to have a little bit more responsibility. Instead of just take care of yourself, now you have some other mouths to feed, which could be a good or bad thing depending on how much time you have, how much energy you want to put into it. And then there's obviously some cost associated with it. So let us know what you think below. Give us a comment, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as check us out on social media for all the updates at 3F Farm TX. And say hello to our donkey. I think that's Jonelle. It's either Jonelle or her mom. So say hello and we'll be in touch soon.